Today, we're diving into the body's hidden architecture. Nope, not bones or muscles. We're talking about a vast, unseen network of energy channels that was mapped out thousands of years ago. Welcome to the world of Nadi Shastra, an ancient science of the unseen body.
This quote really nails it. What if our deepest truths aren't broadcast by what we say, but by an energy field that literally radiates from us? Think about that for a second. It's a pretty powerful idea, and it's the key to understanding the ancient science we're about to unpack.
So, you're ready to jump in? Here's our game plan. We're going to start with a modern look at our body's energy, then we'll travel back in time to these ancient energy highways called Nadis. After that, we'll see how these old ideas connect to modern science, look at how to put them into practice, and finally explore how all of this just might be a bridge to consciousness itself. Okay, so first things first, let's ground this whole exploration in a more modern concept, something you might have heard of called the biofield. So what in the world is a biofield? Well, some emerging scientific fields are defining it as this dynamic field of energy and information that doesn't just surround us, but actually flows through our bodies. And the thinking is that this field is a major player in keeping us balanced, both physically and emotionally. And you know what? This idea of a life force is everywhere. For thousands of years, Indian Ayurveda has called it prana. In traditional Chinese medicine, it's known as qi. And now you've got cutting-edge fields like quantum biology and so-called biofield physiology looking into it as our body's bioelectromagnetic fields. It's like all these different groups across time and space have been trying to describe the very same thing. Okay, so that's the modern idea, but what's really wild is how ancient cultures map this out. This brings us right to the heart of Nadi Shastra, the incredibly intricate system of the nadis. So what is a nadi? The Sanskrit word itself literally means flow or vibration. Now here's the most important part you've got to get. These are not physical nerves that a surgeon could find. They're described as channels in the subtle body, the energetic body. Think of them like the wiring that carries prana, or life force energy. So just how big is this energetic wiring system? Well, brace yourself. The most famous yogic texts point to an absolutely mind-boggling number, 72,000. Yeah, you heard that right. Just imagine this dense, complex web of energy channels delivering life force to every single part of you. And get this, while 72,000 is the number you hear most often, some of the classic texts go even bigger. The Prapanchasara Tantra says there are 300,000, and the Shiva Samhita suggests an incredible 350,000. It just goes to show you the massive scale and complexity of the system they were describing. Okay, so with tens of thousands of these channels, where do you even begin? Well, the ancient yogis were smart about it. They simplified things by focusing on a hierarchy. They said, look, out of all these thousands of pathways, there are really just three main highways. If you can get those three working right, the rest of the system will follow. And here they are, the big three. Right down the middle, aligned with the spine, you have Sushumna. That's the main spiritual channel, the ultimate path. Then, to the left is Ida. Think of it as the moon channel. It's cool, reflective, mental energy. And on the right, you've got Pingala, the sun channel, all about heat, action, and vitality. The whole system is really about the balance between these two opposites, with Sushumna right there in the neutral center. An ancient map of energy. It sounds a little out there, right? But what happens when we lay this ancient map over what we know about the human body today? This is where things get really, really interesting. Okay, check this out. Let's start with that main channel, the Sushumna Nadi. The yogis described it as the central channel running right up the spine. Now, think about your spinal cord. It's our body's central superhighway for nerve signals. The alignment in both location and function, it's just uncanny, impossible to ignore. But wait, it gets even cooler. Remember Ida and Pingala, the cool, passive one, and the hot, active one? Well, think about our autonomic nervous system. It has two parts. The sympathetic system is our fight or flight response. It's the gas pedal. The parasympathetic system is our rest and digest mode. It's the brake. That active, heating energy of Pingala is a perfect mirror for the sympathetic system. And the cool, calming energy of Ida, that's the parasympathetic system. It's almost like the yogis were describing the feeling of this core biological system from the inside out. So if this ancient map lines up so well with our modern biology, the next question is pretty obvious, right? How do we actually work with it? And that brings us from theory to practice,
to a core yogic technique called Nadi Shuddhi, which means channel purification. This quote from an old text basically says it all. The whole idea is that these energy highways can get, well, clogged up with stress, with bad food, with difficult emotions. And when that happens, the life force energy, or vayu, can't flow freely. And that leads to imbalance and what we might call dis-ease. And the main way to clear these blockages is a surprisingly simple but powerful breathing technique called Nadi Shodhana, or alternate nostril breathing. But this is way more than just a relaxation exercise. By breathing through the left nostril, you stimulate the right side of your brain, your creative side, linked to that calming parasympathetic system, our Ida. By breathing through the right nostril, you stimulate the left side of your brain, your logical side, linked to that revved-up sympathetic system, our Pingala. So by alternating, you are literally balancing your nervous system with your breath. It's incredible. And what happens when you get these channels clear? Well, according to the old texts, it's not just some vague internal feeling. They talk about real physical changes that you can actually see. Things like a lean, healthy body, clear eyes, and just a vibrant glow. It's a direct connection between that unseen world of energy and our very visible physical health. Okay, let's zoom out and connect all these dots. What is the ultimate point of all of this, and how does it matter in our modern world? This is what we mean by the bridge to consciousness. For the ancient yogis, the end goal was crystal clear. Balancing these nadis wasn't just about feeling less stressed. It was the fundamental step to create total harmony between the body and the mind, to prepare the whole system for higher states of awareness. Now, fast forward to today, what is modern science obsessed with? The mind-body connection. Fields like psychoneuroimmunology are proving how our thoughts physically affect our health. And researchers are seriously exploring the biofield as the thing that mediates that whole conversation, even using super-sensitive tools to detect the faint magnetic fields our bodies produce. So here's the big idea, the main takeaway. What if Nadi Shastra isn't a literal physical map? What if, instead, it's an incredibly sophisticated map of our experience? A map of the very interface between our physical body, our energy field, and the one thing running the show? Our consciousness. And that leaves us with a pretty mind-blowing question to think about. As we use our amazing modern tools to study the nervous system and the biofield, are we actually just creating a new language to rediscover a profound science of consciousness that's been right here waiting for us all along?